there, Libra. I'm going to be doing a 3-card weekly reading, and the cards aren't in any particular order. And then I'll be doing a combination astrology dice card reading. Now, the 3 dice in front of the cards represents the zodiac signs, the planets and lunar nodes, and the houses. The cards that you received was the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the 6 of Swords. Let's talk about the Knight of Cups first. He's a romancer, a seducer, but he has this dreamy time feel to him. He's the kind of guy that just can't seem to balance his emotions, Either he's head over heels in love or he is just majorly depressed from unrequited love. He can bring messages of passionate intrigues, and he is offering a cup of opportunity of emotions and love. And as being the court philanderer of women, he does get himself in trouble quite often. But he's kind of a weenie, he doesn't want to fight. He's a peacemaker and a lover, not a fighter. When you see the Knight of Cups, he does warn of difficulties, and especially with emotions and love affairs. And he kind of goes into things with a dreamy time feel to it, so that you're not really into reality as you're doing these things. And this card warns you to balance your emotions between intense infatuation and complete emotional breakdowns. Overall, this card is saying to make sure you take your rose-colored glasses off before you pursue some romantic affairs. And the Queen of Swords next to him is saying, yeah, watch out, buddy. She's the dipolar opposite to the Knight of Cups. She wants you to use logic and reasoning in your decision-making instead of emotions, which at this point in these cards appears will get you in trouble. She carries the sword of truth, and she's facing right to the Knight of Cups. She's one of the cards in the court that knows when somebody's lying to her. And maybe the Knight of Cups has been lying to you, or you have been lying to somebody. And you think, oh, well, one little white lie here and there, what will it matter? But remember the old saying, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Because, one little white lie turns into a lot of little white lies, and sometimes it gets kind of scary because you can't even remember what lies you were telling people to straighten out the lies that make it sound like it's the truth. Now, the message here from the Queen of Swords can also be that she elects to be single, or she's divorced, or she's separated, and there's reasons for that. Instead of a romantic evening with a man, she would prefer to have an intellectual conversation with a man. So now this reading is comparing 2 opposites, logic versus overt emotions. And now the 6 of Swords is saying, you're just going away from this whole mess. There's been some confusion and tribulation between these 2 opposing forces, and now you just don't want to deal with it anymore. You might not be running away, but you certainly don't want to face it anymore. So it's just let it go. It's time to plot a new course of action and figure out where you want to go. And this card also helps you with a seamless transition from one place to the next, because this card is about motion, moving forward, and it could even be about travel. Thankfully, now you're moving from turbulent waters now to more tranquil waters. You have to use the Queen of Swords advice and use some common sense and rational thinking to move yourself into the future. And now I rolled the dice and you received Capricorn, Neptune in the 6th house. With Neptune in the 6th house, it says that you have this feeling that whatever you can do today, it can be done tomorrow. This is a week like where you're trying to book a procrastinators meeting, but as usual, you can't show up and neither can anyone else. Now, psychic abilities might surface this week, but it causes a lot of confusion. But then again, this dreamy land kind of atmosphere is so distorted that you might use it as an escape mechanism. The 6 houses of work and service, and with spacey Neptune, practical matters might suffer. If you have more than 2 things to do in one day, you might feel overwhelmed by the pending responsibilities that seem so heavy for you. Then you go into this psychological denial, and you refuse to do anything. Work is best avoided by running out the door. You may want to keep a brown paper bag around so you don't hyperventilate this week. And what better way to avoid anything is to say, I'm sick, or have constant health complaints. You could be not only a procrastinator, but a hypochondriac this week. No, my back isn't feeling so good, and I think I'll just cry wolf and go sit in front of the television set. So, this Six of Swords could also mean that you're using this going away from things or letting go of things as an escape. And the Knight of Cups is saying that your feelings are way too sensitive and your emotions are off the chart. Your daily life this week is going to feel rather chaotic with all of these different emotions going around, and maybe you're going to do more hard work trying to avoid work. And the Queen of Swords is shaking you by the shoulders and saying, get a grip, knock it off. The pity party's over and you're going to start facing some responsibilities. If you call in sick this week and you have the Queen of Swords for a boss, you're either going to be rode up or fired, so you have to be very careful about what you do. The best thing to do is take the advice of the Queen of Swords and use logic and reason in your decision making this week. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.